What's good, YouTube? It's just a casual nerd back again with another video with some horrible news in the DC extended universe or movie universe, wherever you want to call it. For those of you who may not know, which most of you probably do by now, but those you may not know, they've just announced that Henry Cavill will not be returning as Superman. Yes, I know if you watched Black Adam, you did see him in the post-credit scene, and there was a lot of hype and things surrounding him coming back. Most fans are pretty much excited about it. I even did a video a couple months ago that I may link in the comments about a couple of reasons why Henry Cavill needs to return back. And after all this, with James Gunn taking over the DCEU, of course, we did expect some changes, but him and Henry Cavill have both made social media posts announcing that he will not be returning, and I'm sure there will be some more changes coming up soon, but I want to focus on this one in particular. Now, I'm going to start off by saying I do like James Gunn's movies. I think he's made some great movies, including like Guardians of the Galaxy. That's one of the best MCU movies. Only thing is, I didn't really think he was the right fit for it to be the Kevin Feige of the DC universe, because I think I really like James Gunn's directing when it's obscure characters or characters that we don't really care as much about. He's very good at making unique stories to make them likable, and because he does take liberty when it comes to the source material, but it's usually okay because it's characters, like I said, we don't have as much of attachment about, like for we don't normies, non-comic book readers and such, so it's not as much of a big problem, even though we may not like it, but he usually the end product ends up being pretty good. So I really like him too. If you're familiar with baseball, I like him too, like a closing pitcher. Like I wouldn't want him to be the starting pitcher, but he's really good at maybe like closing out a game, or in other words, like when it comes to movies, closing out a universe and making sure they end with a W. They're very important, very important to the mold. But him being in charge of everything, I'm not sure. I never really thought that was the best idea, even though he has had good films. I'm just kind of a little afraid of what he would do to certain characters. And even though I knew there were some changes was going to come in the first place, this being the leading change of knocking out Henry Cavill for a quote unquote younger Superman, I don't think is the right idea. For one, I mean, this Superman that's in this current DCEU, he kind of, if you really think about it, he kind of really just started. I mean, if anything, I've always said they should have had a younger Batman, a little closer to Henry Cavill's age, or I won't say even age, but they really made Ben Affleck look even older. I really think they should have made Batman in his prime, which is most likely what they're going to do, but I don't think that should have affected Henry Cavill's Superman. And even though, and with me saying I do like Ben Affleck's Batman, I think he did a good job. I just think they should have made him, be in his prime instead of being a retired Batman. But that's another story. Now, according to sources, this new Superman movie, it's not going to be an origin movie. Well, thankfully, but they going back to making him younger. Is for me, it's almost similar to them just kind of doing like the Spider-Man thing again, where going back, almost like taking him back to high school in a way. Of course, he won't be back in high school, but it's kind of akin to the same thing, which I would much rather, James Gunn and Peter Safran just fix some things and make an actual plan for the current universe and build upon that. But it really looks like they're leaning towards rebooting a lot of things, because Henry Cavill's Superman back in like 2013, 2012, whenever it came out, I think it was 2013, that is, this whole universe was built off that one film. So recasting him, to me, that just sounds like it's going to be a hard reboot. Now, I don't know what it means for the other characters, the Justice League characters. There's been rumors that Aquaman may get recasted as Lobo. I'm not really sure about that one. I mean, I won't be surprised at this point, be honest with you, but I'm not sure about that one. We know Gal Gadot, she put out like a tweet saying that she still hopes, play the character, because, Patty Jenkins got, I don't know if she quit or got fired, but either way, she's not part of Wonder Woman 3, which honestly, I'm sorry, but I think that's a good thing. Wonder Woman 84 was atrocious, and I think the first Wonder Woman is a little bit overhyped in my opinion, but definitely Wonder Woman 84, it was just bad. So that part is understandable, and I don't think there's anything against Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, because I think with a good script, I mean, I liked her in Batman vs Superman. I liked her Wonder Woman acting in that one. It just in the solo film, it was just that's just a whole nother story. I think Ben Affleck as Batman is still up in the air. There's been reports that he wasn't in the Aquaman, screening, so we're not sure if he's getting exited as well. That's still kind of up in the air. The one person people have been calling to recast was Ezra Miller. There's been like nothing on him. We know that Flash movie is supposed to come out, but I'm not sure if even these next slate of movies, Aquaman, Shazam 2, I'm not gonna lie, it looks kind of mid. Even though I did like Shazam 1, I thought it was pretty good and fun. Shazam 2 kind of looks mid, but you got the Flash movie as well, and the Blue Beetle. But at this point, I'm not really sure if those movies are even gonna, mean anything at this point. If they're going to be building anew, so I'm pretty sure those movies are probably going to lose a lot of money unless they, announce something to the that's different than that, at least. There also have been rumors that they're still trying to do this Black Superman film, as well as develop a new Superman film, the normal one for the DCEU. And I don't think that just needs to happen. If you really want, a black superhero, I think they should just develop, a Jon Stewart movie. You got, Black Lightning, Static, Vixen, any of those that there could be utilized. I think at this point, just leave Superman as it is, and preferably leave Henry Cavill in the role, and just build off from there. Because honestly, what I really wanted, some people are saying they've been wanting a reboot, but what I wanted is for them to actually fix the things that have been, wrong with the DC, and mainly just make a plan. That's been the main problem. My main problem is just they didn't seem like they had any type of cohesive plan. I feel like you can use a lot of the same actors and characters, just with small changes, and with the actual plan, you could really have something there. So blowing it up at this point in time, I just think that's the wrong move. Especially in the midst of, people are kind of feeling a little bit of the MCU fatigue, and then with DC, we were kind of getting on board with this new direction, and then they are changing directions once again. I think it's just going to, backfire for the, superhero movie genre. Now, don't get me wrong. I hope that I eventually eat my words, and that this new universe, whatever they do, it turns out really good. I hope so, but it just seems starting back at point A at this point, instead of going and fixing it. I think it's just a bad move. And like my thing is with James Gunn, he's coming from a directorial standpoint. So with directors, the thing is they want to put their stamp on things. So I'm sure what he wants to do is create a Gunverse, and not really ultimately not have anything to do with the Snyderverse. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the ultimate goal. And hearing that he's gonna be writing Superman, that's kind of like the equivalent of Kevin Feige, saying that, hey, we're gonna get rid of Robert Downey Jr., recast him with somebody younger, and then Kevin Feige saying that, oh, and also I'm gonna write the script for this, even though I know they do have two different backgrounds. It's kind of like the equivalent, because James Gunn should be hiring people to, hiring directors and writers to execute the vision rather than going in and doing it himself. So a James Gunn treatment of Superman, it makes me a little nervous, because like I said, I think he's good with these obscure characters, but him handling the trinity of, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, I don't know. It makes me a little nervous. But I did also hear that they do want Ben Affleck to direct, possibly direct a DC film, which kind of makes me think that they don't want him to be Batman anymore as well. So I mean, that could be good, but it just signs that things are shifting even further. And I kind of really just feel like the biggest slap in the face is, we literally just got done celebrating, Henry Cavill returning to the role, especially with the end of Black Adam, which, I know what people feel about Black Adam is kind of mixed, but I don't think it was bad. Of course, I think I did a review on that. But the main thing that really drew people is that, seeing Henry Cavill back on screen as Batman. I don't think there was really a large sector that really didn't like that. It really honestly united the fan base. So doing this at this point in time, after just last month, he was able to announce he was returning. I think it's just not only bad timing, but even though they said they're trying to do this for the fans, I think it really just went against what all the fans wanted. And again, I really don't know any actor right now that are younger than Cavill that could really play Superman. I mean, I know that obviously I know there's a lot of good younger actors, but fulfilling that role, fulfilling that physique. It's a challenging role. It's a challenging position to be in. And I really just can't really think of a actor that can really, that we could really get behind at this point. I mean, I guess you could do an unknown, as well, but I think it's gonna be hard to really get the fans back behind this universe, once we are just getting accustomed to it moving forward with the characters that we have already gotten used to at this point. But that's all I got to say at this point. It's hard being a DC fan at this point. Honestly, I think they should just look at the old Justice League animated series and Justice League Unlimited. And I'm just like, hey guys, the blueprint is there. Just do that. If you don't want to, read the comics, of course, they have a animated series that's a certified classic. Just do that. Just put the right people in the role. It could all be simple, right? But well, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I am pretty disappointed at this news, but what do you guys think? Do you think it's a good move? Do you think it's a bad move? If he is going to be replaced, who do you think who should replace him as the Superman role? But what are you listening to me for anyway? I'm just a casual. Cue the outro.